This is National Native News. I'm Jill Freitas. After much speculation, Navajo Nation President Boo Nygren announced earlier this week that he will seek re-election later on this year. KJZZ's Gabriel Pietrasio has more.
Nygren became the youngest president in Window Rock after defeating incumbent Jonathan Nez 4 years ago. He won that race by just more than 3,500 votes. In a video message on social media, Nygren picked up his signature black open crown hat.
And I will be tossing my hat into the race for Navajo Nation president. Let's keep building on the momentum that we've built so far.
Since his inauguration, the sitting president has faced considerable scrutiny. A special prosecutor has called for his immediate resignation over alleged ethics violations that included the misuse of public funds, while Navajo Nation Council delegates continue trying to oust him. For National Native News, I'm Gabriel Pietrasio.
A nonprofit tribal organization has published a book that presents Tlingit Raven stories for the first time in the original language with English translations. The 860-page volume brings together 50 stories by 7 Tlingit storytellers across southeast Alaska. As KCAW's Hope McKenney reports, the stories were transcribed from recordings of oral performances and include some of the oldest known recordings of these stories told in Tlingit.
75-year-old Eshka Daphne Wright grew up listening to her aunt, Catherine Mills, tell her stories of Raven, a cultural hero, world maker, and trickster figure among the Tlingit of southeast Alaska.
And I can just remember we'd be sitting in the kitchen, around the kitchen table. And it was maybe in the evening when everyone just kind of sitting around and just kind of a warm feeling and just listening to my aunt's voice.
Wright says reading this book, which features stories from her aunt, is like hearing her aunt's voice again.
I miss her so much, and I miss my mother. It just means so much that there's something here, an actual physical book, that has her stories in it.
This volume has been more than 4 decades in the making. It's the 5th in a series of books from Sea-Alaska Heritage Institute called The Classics of Tlingit Oral Literature, and is the first in the series to be exclusively focused on Raven. Will Geiger is a research specialist with the Southeast nonprofit. Geiger says Raven is one of the most developed characters in the Tlingit oral tradition, with stories ranging from sacred to humorous.
Mostly he appears in the form of a person, and he can change forms. He turns into a woman, a little hemlock needle, and he turns into a raven, too.
For Sk'eki Heather Powell-Mills, a Tlingit language teacher in Hoonah, hearing or reading these stories in the original language leads to deeper understanding.
Hearing our language it's like medicine to us, to have a strong connection to the land, to understand where you come from in order to know where you're going.
Mills says she's grateful these stories were recorded and preserved for future generations.
We don't have the time we used to have to spend the winters together sitting and transferring that knowledge. I think this is a great way for us to learn. It was their dream for us.
Reporting in Sitka, I'm Hope McKenney.
The book is currently available through Sea-Alaska Heritage Institute's website. Geiger says they also hope to make the original audio recordings of these stories available in the near future. I am Jill Freitas.
National Native News is produced by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support from Rodale, publisher of A Feather and a Fork, 125 intertribal dishes from an indigenous food warrior by Crystal Wapipa with Amy Page Condon, and a foreword by Tommy Orange is now available for purchase wherever books are sold. Skugtash. For more than 40 years, Ramona Farms has revived ancient traditional foods, tepary beans, pinoli, polentas, and more, all from store.ramonafarms.com. Ramona Farms supports this show. Tom Yang.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.